Hello, I'm Valentin Mandace from Historic Houses of Romania, Case de Epoca, and I am right in front of one of the most iconic buildings of Bucharest, which is Czech building from finished in 1900, so 117 years ago makes it, designed by architect Paul Gottereau from France, an architect from the school of Paul Garnier, the designer of Paris Opera House. And you can see something from that kind of school of Paul Garnier. That shows also betrays the style of the building. It's called Beaux Arts. Beaux Arts is the style promoted by called the Beaux Arts in Paris, the trendsetter in architectural fashions and artistic fashions in late 19th century and early 20th century Europe and the world. In fact, this is basically the first global style. It uses modern building technologies. You can see the cupola behind me. It's wrought iron, cast iron, glass, even bended glass. The walls are made from high quality concrete, so high-tech materials of that time, but the design, the forms used in the design of the building are quite classical. And in fact, it's a mix between Renaissance and classical motifs. And this is Beaux Arts, the style Beaux Arts, the first global style. A synthesis between classicism and Renaissance using modern materials. And it represents a style used for big public buildings, like this one. This one is a building of a bank, Czech, even the name Czech. Sounds in French, Romanian Czech is called, it has that meaning, but it comes from an acronym. If you see the arch at the entrance of the bank, we'll go here, look at the arch, you can even spot the letters. Casa de Economie și Consemnation is an acronym for this name. It is the saving house and consignations, which probably stands for bonds, bank bonds. And look at the entrance. It's an arc which comes from it's a classical motifs borrowed from the Roman triumphal arches. In the middle there, it's one of the oldest clocks of Bucharest. Many period clocks of this town has been thrown to the litter skip, in the last 20 years in post-communism, and replaced with plastic Chinese-made products, which are considered much more prestigious and modern. And this is one of the few remaining in its original state. Probably has an electric mechanism behind. It's surrounded by a big allegorical panoply showing on one side the god of commerce and the other side the goddess of agriculture, which was the main money-producing activity of Romania when the bank was built in 1900. And behind them are lots of products and even a cornucopia, prosperity for a bank. So if we look at some other interesting details, the big columns on the side are Corinthian type, but in the capital, in the middle, we see the snakes, two coiled snakes around the staff, which is the symbol of the god of commerce, a commercial bank. And also the engaged columns at the windows, on the sides, and here in the middle, they are of Doric Tuscany type, Tuscany more or less, because the surface of the engaged column doesn't have flutes. It should have had flutes to be a proper Doric one. It is still retaining the old ironwork of the street fence. You can see here around me, it's a master of wrought iron, which Bucharest was famous at that time, and some of the few surviving lamps. Sorry about this slippery stick behind me. Again, you can see one of the lamps which is undergoing repairs, or right there having a new coat of paint. by that guy. Still working as a bank. Now is the headquarters of Czech Bank, CEC, Czech in Romania. And Romanians are having the same way of spelling like Italians. And it's still a state bank. I like the cupola, made from glass and steel, wrought iron, which the tone of it is done first by the Crystal Palace exhibition in 1856, I think, 56, 57, in London, with the big cupola there, a big exhibition hall, Crystal Palace, and then the universal exhibitions around the world, especially the Paris one. Only if you think of the Petit Palace and Grand Palace in Paris, they give the tone for this kind of structures. And we have here quite a Parisian structure in the middle of Bucharest, together with the Athenaeum, one of the iconic buildings of this town. And it's on Calea Victoriei, and quite a nice surrounding. Behind me is a building by Smorandescu. Sorry again with this thing. Paul Gottereau, and this one is by Alexander Săvulescu, the former post office palace. Again, Beaux Arts, Alexander Săvulescu, 1899. These two buildings, the one behind me and the Czech Bank, again, I have to replace this thing. The Czech building, they were basically done in the first time. And also, it cannot escape communism. This apartment block behind is from Ceausescu's times in the 1980s, when the Romanian architecture profession went downhill and hasn't yet came back. So I hope you like this. I hope that you like this introduction into the architecture of Bucharest. It's the theme of one of my tours, the iconic buildings of central Bucharest, which is going to take place this Sunday, the 14th of May, in the Athenaeum area. So we'll be speaking about this type of buildings. And if you like to come, you can have a look on my blog, Historic Houses of Romania. Just Google the name, Historic Houses of Romania, you see the blog, and then you can register if you like to come. Sunday between the hours 13 and 15 for 2 hours. So we'll see each other at the next podcast with some other interesting architecture. Thank you very much. I'm Valentin Mandace from Historic Houses of Romania, Casa de Bye-bye.